18-year-old Denis stuns Magnus Carlsen in the opening day of the World Rapid Championship. Magnus is playing with the black pieces and Denis with the white pieces. So this is the Queen's Gambit, and Magnus responds with the slap defense. So just taking his time to see the kind of opening response for the slap defense. This is one of the best ways to counter Queen's Gambit. So he goes for the capture and this is the exchange variation and brings the knight to c3. Magnus brings his knight to f6 and bishop f4 by then this side is not yet developed. Magnus partially developed, so knight c6. This pawn pushes c3 and now a6, not allowing the bishop to come through. So rook c1. Magnus brings his bishop to f5. Knight f3. e6, allowing the dark square to develop. Possibly coming in here to b4 or e7. So queen b3, attacking pawn, and immediately rook comes to a7. So because of the bishop position, you cannot bring the rook to e7. So bishop e2 now, and white now can castle. Magnus brings his bishop to e7, and after 10 moves the position is good. Then is now post forecasting as of the 11th move. Knight d7 by Magnus. Knight d4. c5, attacking the bishop. Bishop e5 was played, but the best move was to bring the bishop back to g3. Magnus now castles, but going for the capture of the bishop on e5 was the best move. So bishop g3 was played regardless, and Magnus pushes h5, attacking the bishop. So h3 is kind of forced. Magnus launching early attack on the king's son. So continues with the attack and pushes g4, attacks the knight. So forces the captures, recaptures with the pawn and opens up the h file. So knight under attack goes to h2, putting in pressure for this pawn. On this pawn, knight f6 by by Magnus, supporting the pawn. So its pawn is attacked twice and defended twice. Queen d1 is a good option, putting in more pressure. And queen d1 is played. So you cannot defend that pawn anymore. And Magnus brings his queen knight to e4 now, going after this bishop. So bishop f4, not giving up that bishop. It's quite an active bishop on the board, and not showing any hurry to capture that pawn that he won. So bishop g5, again trying to get rid of that dark square bishop, and he goes for the capture of the pawn, but in return Magnus goes for the capture of the bishop, recaptures with the pawn. So king g7 was played, but bringing the bishop to g6 was the best move. This allows the trading of the bishops and creates this double pawn on the f5. So g3 now, and as of this position, Denis is slightly better already. He's up by a pawn. Magnus brings his rook to h8. Knight f3. Magnus brings his rook back to a8 now. That rook there was quite an unusual move, not seen at this level, especially from Magnus. So king g2, allowing opening up the hedge file for the rooks and for the queen to attack the gigantic king. So queen to f6. Brings the knight back into the center of the board to knight c3 and attacking the pawn here. So you will have to bring the rook to support the pawn. So the rook comes to d8. Queen d3. Magnus brings his rook to h5, trying to create a battery on the h file, and Denis responds with his rook, and queen comes to h6 by Magnus. So forms this triple battery on the h file back then. So now the capture is forced, but queen got to recapture, and knight to h4 prevents any form of threats from Magnus's queen. Knight f6, and already Magnus is not that much better in this game. Denis is better as of this. He brings his rook to h1, attacks the queen. With the knight there, the discovered check possibility. Magnus drops his king to f8, which actually is not the best move, bringing the rook up to h6, or even going g8 with the king would have been better. e3, but this check, discovered check, was the Magnus' response was knight e7. He just ignoring that attack, discovered check. I think the best form. He already decided that he needs to trade the queen for a rook and a bishop with a knight, and that happens. And so this position, Dennis is already better. So Magnus captures queen, and captures back with the pawn. Knight e2. Magnus can clearly see that his position is not good, but he's fighting it out. King to f7, allowing the rook some breathing space. So knight e1, Magnus pushes for h4. Goes for the capture, and I think Magnus was not expecting that capture actually. This forces the rook to capture, and it will be rook will be in a not so much great position. He brings the knight to h3. Magnus brings king to g6, but knight e4 was the best move. Queen b3 by Denis. Magnus brings knight to c6 and attack the pawn on d4. So the pawns are treated like this, and wins one more pawn. Denis is up by 2 pawns and up by 3 points on material wise, and after the check, Magnus brings his check, closes with the rook, and it comes to e3, attacking the knight. Counterattacks the white knight on h3, looking for a knight trade. Goes for the trade, f3 captures the knight. The point here is that there's 2 pawns for white on the a and b file. And white just need to push these pawns up the board. So a4, and Dennis brings rook after a1, and queen comes, but the pawn attacks the a2 pawn, also pinning it. At this point, Magnus Carlsen resigns the game, and Dennis, the 18-year-old, wins this match. So this is the round 5 match. These two pawns are giving advantage, and this is a queen versus a rook and the knight.